Hey guys, I'm here in a hotel in Vegas. Um, so I thought I'll do a quick review of the RS Torque version, which I've had for about 2 weeks now. I started riding it when Marty's LA tour started. I've got about 700 miles on it, mostly trails. So I think I've got a good. I've had good enough time to be able to give a honest opinion. By the way, I did this review just now, about 15 minutes yapping away, and then I came and found out I didn't have the phone on record. So here we go again. All right, I'm going to start with the negatives that I have found out on this wheel. And they are: the pedal angle is very flat when you get it. So my buddy Murland Fish made a shim that is basically an L bracket. It goes inwards towards the hanger. It's screwed in here, and knowing Murland, he probably drilled and tapped. He didn't use self-tapping screws. Murland doesn't do butch-up jobs. So that took care of the angle issue. The biggest problem, I think, for people is that the hanger itself was advertised as 165 millimeters, same as the MSP MSX, but at time of production, for whatever reason, they went with 140 millimeters, so that is an inch. And for people that ride trails, that 1 inch is the difference between clipping your pedal or not. I have adapted. I find different lines. I still pedal hit, as you can tell, but you know, it's not a make it or break it deal for me. I would have still bought the wheel knowing that it is 1 inch lower, because I can change my riding style for a while until Gotway comes out with the higher pedals and higher hangers, and they are in about a few weeks. Even let's say they didn't come out with it, my buddy Murland, I'm sure is capable of making hangers that are better than Gotway and the way we want them. So again, that wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. For the time being, I've adapted, and is fine. The other negative point is the fan, the motherboard fan. I'm pretty sure was an afterthought, because it is in an odd placement. It doesn't use any screws to hold it in. It is mounted with silicone, and it is on top of one of the bolts that holds the shell to the hanger, and then they siliconed around it so it wouldn't move. Be careful. In a couple of the wheels that I got, they had put so much silicone that it had oozed out, and it had gotten on the actual blades, so the blades weren't moving, so the motor of the fan seized, so the wheel would overheat within a short distance. We got fans and fixed that problem, but that fan is right here. So if you're right-footed and you get on it and you put weight on this side and the fan is running, you are pressing this shell onto the fan, which is deforming the fan slightly, so you will hear odd noises. I opened it up. There was a wire going over the fan, which was getting sandwiched between the shell and the fan, so I removed that, rerouted it. There was a couple of foam pads. I removed those, and it has made some difference. There's actually, I believe Greg from Vegas said there's a automotive type of foam that you can put on there that works much better. Once I know what it is, I'll let you guys know. So pedal angle, hangers, fan are the biggest issues. Next, motor stop switch for you commuters is great. Boom boom, works just fine. But I found out on trails certain parts where I have to push the wheel and I need the wheel to be balanced. If the wheel isn't moving in that precise moment and I am holding this motor stop switch, then it you know, the motor stop activates and now it's not balanced. It makes my life a bit more difficult. But again, I've learned to adapt. This cover for the charge port, does it seal? No, because there is dust in here, so if dust gets in, water can get in. Again, I don't ride in the rain and I don't go in rivers that are yay high, so I don't worry about water getting in there. Now, if you do ride in the rain, again, quick fix. Duct tape. Duct tape fixes everything. And that, and then mud guard. The mud guard that you can order for the RS is a harder plastic, and it basically clips in place. I can tell you that mud guard will fall out within 15 minutes of riding, unless you use hot glue and maybe a strip of duct tape again to hold it in place better. I didn't want to go through all that, so I used the MSP style rubber mud guard that screws into the shell, just like on the MSP. And that, as you can see, is still on there and hasn't fallen. The LED lights, yeah, they're cute. I don't have much to say about those. The same as the speakers. I don't listen to music, so but none of these wheels have a decent set of speakers anyway. If you're into high fidelity sound as you're riding, you're not going to be happy with any wheel. So get your own USB Bose system and hang it around your neck or something to hear better music. Headlights. The MSP and the RS so far have the best headlights in the Gotway line. For me, none of these wheels put out a long enough beam at night, so when you're riding at higher speeds you can see things in the distance. None of them do that. At lower speeds is okay. So although this wheel has the you know, one of the best lights out there, for me still not enough. So my buddy Hanvo in Vegas gave me this flashlight, which I've mounted on the front. It is adjustable angle, so I can adjust it to whatever I want. And I also use helmet mounted light and handheld flashlight, and I don't really ride at night, but if I do, I want to see everything before they creep up on me. Okay, as far as performance of the wheel, like I said, I've ridden it 700 miles, mostly trails. I went on Marty's backyard, Overheat Hill, and did Overheat Hill, and I found a couple of steep, one of them very gnarly, rock bed, rocks, ruts, and the wheel did absolutely great. At no time did I feel it was not going to have enough power. If I gave it power, it would, I could feel the power. So there is plenty of power there. In my opinion, there is more power in the RS Torque than there is in the MSP Torque. Braking is great, very smooth, good braking power. Acceleration is great. Top speed that I've gone on this is 41.6 miles an hour. It was slight downhill. I don't think that's a safe speed for this wheel. I weigh 200 pounds when I'm riding with all the gear. I think at those weights, 38 miles an hour, 40 is the kind of safe speed. If you're looking for a 40 plus miles an hour wheel constant, then you're looking at the wrong wheel. I would get the RSS in this lineup. That's what I would go with. This wheel is, I got it for trail riding, not speed. It is a very smooth wheel. I'm riding it with the OEM tires. I'm fine with the OEM tires, to be quite honest. I'm not that good a rider to need the exact correct type of tire for my type of riding. There is enough space in the shell if you wanted to change it to a 262 Kenda 262 knobby tire. There is more clearance in this shell than there is in the MSP, and I have a Kenda 262 in the MSP, so it will fit better on this wheel. I think I covered everything. The top speed, the smoothness of the wheel is very smooth, braking power, acceleration, the negative points. Now I've ridden it 700 miles in trails. It has been dropped a few times. It has survived it. I duct taped the trolley handle because I don't ever use that. I'm not a commuter. You know, I don't have to worry about that coming out in a fall and busting itself. Now the question is, if I have an MSP, should I buy an RST? Having ridden MSP, owning an MSP, having ridden this RST, would I spend the extra money to get an RST? I would, yes. I do notice the extra benefits of the power. And actually the efficiency of the motor, I just think it is, I get more range. Day one of Marty's tour was 61 miles and I got back with 3% and I didn't charge anywhere. It was a beach ride. Towards the end it was trails, and then there was some hills that we went up and down. I don't think I got anywhere near that on my MSP. I think the maximum I could get out of MSP on flat paved path was like 50 miles at the same speeds that 18 to 20 miles an hour type of speed. If you ride this wheel at 28 mile an hour plus, or even 25 mile an hour plus constantly, you probably get 25 miles. So if you're a range freak, then watch your speed. If you're a speed freak, then your range is going to be pretty bad. Apart from all those, I personally would still buy the wheel. So the lower pedal hanger issue, to be honest, is the biggest thing people have, and just change your riding style for a little while until Gotway comes out with the taller hangers, or just wait until they put those wheels out with taller hangers. Overall, I like the wheel. It's very good. The biggest issue always is assembly line quality control. So what I recommend to anybody, regardless of the wheel, is when you get it, don't jump on it and ride it. Open it up, check it for any issues. For example, this wheel, when I got it out of the box, I could hear a rattling sound that was coming from the left side. When I opened it up, it was a loose screw in there. that was from the trolley handle bracket that is way too short. It's not biting into the shell much, so it had fallen out. They have put dabs of silicone on those screws to, instead of using longer screws, their fix was to put a dab of silicone. And obviously they didn't dab that one screw well enough, that's why it was out. So now imagine if that screw was on the right side and you didn't check your wheel and you're riding along and that just happens to short something on the motherboard, you would eat dirt. So my opinion is open up the wheel, check the wheel thoroughly, all the connections, make sure they're connected well, nothing is loose. Check the wires for any insulation issues. If the the wire jacket has got a nick in it, so check all that and then ride it. Okay, there's one of my boring videos again. If you look for fancy videos with intros, etc., etc., this is the wrong place. But hopefully it helps you with any questions you have. If you have more questions, shoot me a message. I'll respond. You guys be safe and ride well.